Welcome to the Daily Review. This is Fed Razak, Senior Trading Strategist here at CMTrading, and today is February 12th, 2025, and today is Wednesday morning. So looking at the highlights of the day, we're watching the Japanese yen slide versus the US dollar, but first looking at today's major economic events. So 3:30 South African time from the United States, we have a core price index, CPI number coming out, and then at 5 p.m., Fed Chairman Powell will be testifying, and that's regards to the last FOMC rate decision. Now, in addition, today we have corporate earnings for megaweight Cisco. That's very important. Now, looking at the market, starting out with the Forex symbols, the US dollar advances versus the major pairs. And as we shift over to the indices, the Dow Jones and the NASDAQ trading sideways. Looking at commodities, oil and natural gas continue to move their momentum upwards and continue to gain. Now, looking at the stocks, they're all over the place. Apple gets some momentum on the upside while Tesla sliding and continue to sell off. And lastly, looking at cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin slides back to supportish area. So let's take a look at markets and see what we can expect from today's trading. So here we go. First with the Japanese yen. Now I'm going to zoom out and then we're going to zoom in. First, we're looking at a weekly chart of the Japanese yen, and you could see that hit, okay, the support level hit at that 30-day moving average. That's that blue line there, and it bounced off of it, and that's a major supportish area. Both because it was a resistance-ish area before, somewhat, okay, and secondly because it's the 30-day moving average, okay, so we bounced right off of it. It's a decent bounce over a 2 basis point on the Japanese yen. Now, the dollar is getting stronger across the board, but not this much, okay? So the Japanese yen losing some footing here, maybe some short covering altogether. No, we generally don't cover it, but every so often I like to cover it. The Turkish lira, once again, makes new all-time record lows. Okay, another week, another low, and that's exactly what it's been doing. Now, jumping into commodities. First, let's take a look at crude oil. It did extend its gains yesterday to $74 after giving that up and then retracing, okay, so finally hitting that, but also hitting its 200-day moving average and then retracing on a 4-hour chart. Now, if we look at natural gas, extended even further a little bit, okay, didn't lose that momentum, but it did hit that 30-day moving average and regress, okay? So these averages are super important. They're resistance and supportish lines for all these pairs. Now, looking at the big board markets, okay, the Dow Jones didn't do much yesterday. We're first looking at a weekly chart. If we look and zoom out a little bit, it's trading sideways, okay? No real direction yet. And if you look at the NASDAQ as well, it's really unchanged here, consolidating at this upper range. Now, if we look at individual stocks, this is where it gets super interesting because Apple gained some momentum to the upside yesterday. That's a daily. If we look at a 4-hour chart, it's choppy, but it did gain some momentum to the upside. Whereas Tesla still looking very weak as it continues to slide here, okay? Almost closing its day on its previous supportish level. Now, this is the thing. We do have supportish level. If we look at a daily chart, is that $300 rate mark is very important for the Tesla stock. Okay, so this continues to sell off. No real momentum here. Okay, I would suffice it to say that it's going to continue to sell off as its momentum and its volume is increasing. And once that happens, that increases. Now, I do expect a spike to happen, but you can't trade the spike. You got to trade the trend. And that's exactly what's happening when we're looking at Tesla. Now, looking at the other stocks, really trading sideways. What is important is Cisco coming out with its corporate earning reports. Now, Cisco is a bellwether. It's one of those kind of companies that you can't not pay attention to because it's that important. So it is trading at $62 a share. It's at all-time record highs, okay? Just short of it, of about $2. Now, the question is whether or not it's going to sustain these levels or it's going to retrace. And that's super important to take into consideration. Now, looking at NVIDIA, trading sideways, not doing much after that nice pull up to that 50%. And Bitcoin does retrace to supportish area. So keep that in mind as that might be a potential for a buy as it bounces off of it. This is Fed Razak. I want to wish you guys a great trading day. Thank you.